so I just registered for the first main event of the series. You can see my table right behind me. I came in half an hour late, Reg, but I don't mind. I had to do all my morning preparations, have a good meal, and just sit down where I feel most refreshing. Tables looks pretty good. I mean, a couple of good players, lots of them look pretty fishy, and I'm hoping to make a good day. The plan is to focus on the first 2 hours to identify which one of the players plays which style, then try to exploit it the best I can. Let's make the best out of it.
So day 1B of the main event over here just finished. I'm unfortunately busted 2 hands before the day. Wasn't my best day, even though I want to speak about one hand that occurred today to a good friend of mine in a different table. The hand goes like this. We raise with 2 aces from under the gun. The blinds are 300 and 600, and we raise to 1300. The button calls, the small blind calls, and the big blinds calls as well. So we go 4-way to the flop that comes queen, queen 9 with no flush draw. Check, check to us. We have 2 options, either to bet over here or to check. In a heads-up pot, I think it's more reasonable from us to bet, but since we are 4-way, we can check over here, and if there's no aggression in farther streets, we can bet big twice. So we decide to check, and the button bets for 1,000, small blind folds, big blinds calls, and we call as well. There's no reason for us to raise over here. If we raise, all worse hands will probably fold, I don't know, except Jack 10 or something, and all the queen will of course continue with us. So we call, and the turns comes a 10 that opens a flush draw. Big blinds check, we check, and the button, who we already know, is a pretty passive player. He's playing a lot of hands before the flop, but doesn't tend to bet them most of the time after the flop. Bets again 3,000. It's not a big bet in ratio to the pot, and the big blinds fall, and we have a decision now. We have to assume what's the dealer range over here, and we think about it. The first thing we can say that he's not betting any worse hands from us to value. If he had a 9, a 10, he would probably check and try to see where he stands by the river. Now we can start thinking about his bluffs. On this board, there aren't many bluffs. If he had Jack 10 on the flop, he would probably check now when he has second pair. And all other bluffs would be total bluffs that have nothing to do with the board. And he is not the type of player to do this kind of bets. All in all, we are looking mainly at Queen X on the flop. Sometimes gut shots that made there on the turn, like King Jack, both suits and offsuits, and Jack 8 suited, maybe. And even though we had aces, the best starting hands before the flop, while the board shows like this, we decide to make a very brave fold in this spot, face up, showing the aces, and we get the reaction from our opponent who respects us, and he tells us we made a good fold, not showing his hand, even though I think it's a very good fold, and I think it shows a lot of discipline, and I don't think many players would have been able to make this fold just on the turn, but the board's not going to change in our favor. So if we are not thinking we have enough equity versus our opponent range, I think we should just fold over here and save our chips. And furthermore, we won't be able to make the river mistake and call again, which we all know that happens from time to time. Thank you, and I'll take another bullet tomorrow. Bye-bye.